Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the internet, good morning. Happy hump day. Happy Wednesday to you wherever you are. Let's make it a good one, guys. Coach Kyle Evans out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Some call it terrible. Some call it amazing. I just simply call it home. I am happy to be here with you today, guys. We got a good show. We're going to get a little raw. We're going to get a little real. I got someone to share with you. Without wasting any time, I'm going to bring this person on. If you don't know him, let's give some of his stats. Third generation realtor, KWYP of the year, Keller Williams Young Professional Agent of the Year 1 year, team coach for the Constellation Expansion Network, just an all-around good guy, trophy husband, dad of the year in his family's eyes, and some people like to call him the third Evans brother. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm going to bring to you coach, agent, friend, brother, Brett Campbell. Good morning to you, man.
Morning, Kyle. Thanks for having me on G.R.O.W again.
Yeah, it's funny because this time you're on G.R.O.W, and I know we're going to get into the weeds about this today. This time on G.R.O.W, you're half the man you used to be.
Yeah, just about. In a good way.
What does that mean, Brett?
I have been on a bit of a health, fitness, and well-being journey the last couple of months that started December 30th. And over the last 72 days, I've lost 40 pounds.
72 days, 40 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the reasons I have Brett on today is because I think we can all listen to that and be like, good Lord, have mercy. That is wild. And it didn't happen overnight, one.
No,
And it was a
not at
lot
all.
of hard work.
Yeah, and it's continuing to be a lot of hard work because just because I've lost the weight doesn't mean that the journey is over. I hit my goal weight, and there's still more that needs to be done to maintain it and get into a healthier rhythm.
Let me give you a slow pitch softball here on this because, man, on the G.R.O.W show, right, we're talking about wealthy lives, not just in our bank accounts, but also in our fitness, right, in our health, in our relationships. Brett, on the other side of the hard thing or the continuous hard thing, at this point, are you happy that you did it?
Oh, absolutely. And it's funny because you and I talk about it frequently offline, and I look back the last couple of months before I started, and I am reminded of my origin story. And we talk about the origin story all the time. And I was sitting on the couch with friends of mine while visiting them and playing with their dog, and they took a photo to send to my wife to show how much their dog loved me. And I just saw an angle of myself and my gut and how my clothes were fitting, and it just did not sit right with me for months. And I finally took the plunge to get into it. And part of the reason was that photo. And the other part was I have a 4-year-old son, and I could not keep up with him when taking him to the park. I was getting winded, and I wasn't able to be engaged as much as I wanted to with him during playtime. And I was like, something has to change. And ever since I started, I've lost all the weight. I've gained my endurance, my stamina, and I can play with him now without getting winded. And he's getting tired before I am sometimes. So I'm seeing the results, and it's great.
Man, dude. And so let's pause there because I think this is such a good fundamental thing that obviously we talk about a lot. And guys, this is a reason it matters the rooms that you're in and the conversations that you're in, because you start hanging out with people doing some things and you start to look around like, hey, man, I want to do some things too. Brett mentioned an origin story. The basis of that is this, guys. We are storytellers. Whether you think you are or you think you're not, you are a storyteller. You're constantly telling stories to others and you're constantly telling stories to yourself. When we talk about the hero's journey, if you will, what Brett has went on in his health, a hero's journey, there has to be a point, a moment, a realization, an aha, an epiphany of the pain of where I'm at is now greater than the pain of what it's going to take to get where I desire to be. And whether that is in relationships, your wealth, your business, your health. I truly believe for the majority of human beings, they have to have that truly painful moment. Some would call it rock bottom. Some would call it just the worst day ever. Whatever it is for you, Brett experienced the perception of that and then committed, which is amazing. He didn't set a goal, he made a commitment. And now he's basking in the rewards of it, man. The origin story, Brett Campbell.
Yeah. Well, I think you brought something up right there that's important to note on. And you said the hero's journey, right? The origin of the hero's journey. And I think it's really important for everybody to realize that the origin of the hero's journey is the same as the origin of the villain story. And it's all about how you decide to respond to that origin. You can set a goal and set a commitment and choose to be better than you once were, or you can decide to stay in victim mentality, blame the outside world, blame external sources, and not reflect inwards and see about how you can change, but how you want the world to change to meet you. And I chose not to take that mentality because I'd been in victim mode around my health for a while. I was the one that made excuses. I have a 4-year-old. I have a wife. I don't have time. I have a business. And yet I sat down and I was like, there are more successful people than I am with the same amount of hours in the day, with more kids than I do have, that are able to do this. There's no reason that I can't.
Change that programming, change the narrative. Guys, I don't know if you can tell the reason that I brought him on and we're talking about this is because we ain't just talking about abs here, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about insert the blank for whatever is important to you. What stories are you telling? What excuses are you making? Because the truth is this: everything in life is a choice. When I have fundamentally realized that, like, everything begins to change and no judgment around it. Like, your life is your choosing, and I don't judge you. You can choose whatever life you want. I'm going to love you through it anyway. But what choices are you making every day? And part of the cool thing about Brett's story is it wasn't just a choice. It's been continual multitude of many choices each and every day over the past few months to get here. And I think that's where we make the mistake, Brett. We think that life is won or lost in these singularity moments of like, oh, I made this big choice and then everything was different. Yes. And it's all the thousands of choices that you've probably made in the 72 days.
100%. And I actually relate it back to Bold because I'm not sure if it's still in Bold Onward, but there was a story in Bold about the pilot, right?
Chuck Yeager.
Well, just in general, like when a pilot is flying a plane, they have to continually make minute adjustments to stay on course. It's not just getting into the plane, taking off, setting the point that you want to go to, and flying in a straight line. You're buffeted by winds. You have to make course adjustments due to turbulence. You have to, there might be a storm and you have to change direction slightly. And that 1 degree every now and then course correction is what keeps you on point. And if you decide that you're not going to course correct, you're going to stay there, you could wind up 300 miles off course just by the difference of 1 degree. If you're not evaluating the little things that you're doing and making adjustments while you're doing it, you're not going to hit your goal, or you're going to be so far away from the original point of where you wanted to go that then you're going to beat yourself up. And I think one of the biggest things for me was realizing that, because for a while was one of those, oh, I messed up today. What's the point in redoing it tomorrow?
Yeah.
Right. And on this fitness and health stuff, the journey was really tough in the beginning because I completely changed what I was eating. I've been working in a calorie deficit of 1,200 to 1,300 calories a day, which, if you're not used to tracking your food, is very difficult.
That's a steep deficit, guys.
It's a steep deficit. When in reality, I was probably eating over 3,000 calories a day. Mm-hmm. So I did over half less than what I had been normally doing. And if I had a day where I was a little high, I was like, okay, but I ran yesterday, so I'm okay. I can fix this. I can adjust my favorite recipes to fit what I want. And if I decided not to do that, there's no way that I'd be sitting here 40 pounds less in my college weight that I haven't seen in over 10 years.
Dude lost a Backstreet Boy off of his body, right? But that's the thing, guys. And like, I really want to dive into this because I think it's super important. We talked about this probably every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day we're doing check-ins, we're talking about what we ate, how we ate, what we're feeling, the exercises that we did. And not all of them, guys, is what I want you to understand about the hero's journey and the misconception of it. Not all of them were champion I'm on fire days. It was,
No.
this sucks. I hate this. I'm exhausted. I'm sore. It hurts to walk. Why am I doing this? Like, there's these moments that are going to happen. There's friction that's going to come along the way. You're going to doubt yourself. But if you push through, if you continue to work on the narrative, and also in Brett's case, if you surround yourself with coaches and people who are cheering you on and pushing you and not settling for your excuses, great things can happen, man.
100%. If I was doing this alone, without any outside support, there's no way I would have made it this far. And I wouldn't be still doing it. And that's not just the support of you and other friends that are on the same journey. If my wife wasn't engaged in this, I would be struggling massively because she adopted to the food that I was eating as well. She also lost about 35 pounds on this journey. And it's been extremely helpful to do this with a partner. And this can be related to your business, right? If you try and make massive changes in your business, but have no outside support or outside accountability, or someone looking over your shoulder saying, hey, is that really the decision that you want to make? And let's talk about how this can impact you going over the next couple of weeks or months or years, you're going to fall short. That's why it's so important to have an accountability buddy or a coach or someone that cares about you and your business to support you on your journey of growing a successful business worth owning.
I think it's important when you're choosing that relationship, that partnership, if you will, with an accountability person or a coach or a mentor, is to fundamentally understand human nature. And we have a saying in coaching, it's the client or the coachee will hide where the coach lets them.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're seeking out an accountability partner or a coach or a mentor or whatever that relationship is, make sure you have someone that is not going to settle for your chitty chat, talky talk, excuses, stories, limiting beliefs, whatever. That is drastically important. And I think, at least if I'm speaking for myself here, guys, where I struggled in life, it was when I had too many cheerleaders and not enough coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing. They weren't doing it maliciously. In fact, they were doing it out of care, out of a love for me. Hey, maybe you're going too hard on yourself. Take a day off, take a week off, eat this, eat that, like treat yourself. They weren't doing it to limit me. They thought that they were doing the right thing. So you got to be very careful about who you're listening to and who you're surrounding yourself with. Business, finances, relationally, spiritually, all the things, guys. Like, Brett is dropping absolute universal truths on you right now, and I trust that you're paying attention.
Well, and I'll comment on that because I was out at a lodge event last night, and afterward I was hanging out with some of my brothers, and one of my very good friends in lodge, very good friends outside of lodge, has not yet started his health journey. Mm-hmm. And he mentioned to me that he was like worried about me because I've lost so much so quickly. And it's really interesting to see the dichotomy of someone like you who's on this journey and really supportive and holding me accountable to it, and someone else who hasn't jumped in yet. And it was all from good intentions that he said that, because 40 pounds in 72 days is a lot of weight if I wasn't doing it the right way.
It's a lot of weight.
But if I didn't have somebody like you or others that were holding me accountable and doing this with me, and that was the only feedback loop that I was hearing,
Sure.
that could have derailed what I was doing and made me question, am I doing the right thing? Is what I'm doing healthy? And in reality, it is. And I have the support that I need to keep going. Yet one little comment, one little care from a friend that doesn't see the benefits of what I'm doing could have derailed my entire journey.
Dude, no doubt. And guys, like, if you're hearing this and you're judging yourself, like where my mind goes, it's Brett lost a lot of weight in a short amount of time. I lost 20 pounds more than Brett, but Brett lost it in 3 months. It took me 2 years to do that. So don't overestimate the time horizon for you, and also don't beat yourself up that it's not happening as fast as you desire or as fast as other people. The whole purpose and point is consistency and time on task over time. By the way, I'm talking about your business right now. What does 20 contacts every single day, 20 conversations with people every single day consistently for 12 months do for you? A whole lot.
A whole lot. And I want to talk real quick about like a big goal that I have recently committed to. And some of us have committed to, which is speak it into existence, tell more people to hold yourself accountable, right? Committed to a half Ironman in October. And that is a lofty goal. So, I've always been somebody that didn't think that I would be a triathlon person, let alone a marathon person or anything like that. And it's the big goal that's keeping me push forward and going towards this health journey. And what does Gary say the purpose of a goal is? It's to act appropriately in the moment. Whether I hit the goal or not is not necessarily the defining moment. It's how I hold myself accountable to act appropriately every day during this journey. And some days I'm going to fall short.
Yeah.
Some days I'm not going to hit the time on my run that I want. Sometimes I'm not going to hit my dietary goals. Sometimes I'm going to get out in the morning and be like, I do not want to put these shoes on and hit the pavement. I'm going to use the excuse of my knee hurts because I've had reconstructive surgery on it. And yet I'm going to choose to push forward on most of those days. And the same thing happens in our business. Your big goal of however much money you want to make, however many transactions you want to close this year, the goal is not necessarily the most important part. The goal is there to remind you how to act every single day when you get up. Don't look at yesterday as a defining moment of today. Choose to show up in the way that you know will get you the result. And we know that that result will come by doing the activities that we preach about. Contacts, conversations, get out and talk to people and setting appointments. It's that simple.
And yet we overcomplicate it all the time.
All the time.
The stories that we tell ourselves, not tying a big why. Guys, those who have a why that's big enough, the how doesn't matter. For instance, if I was sitting in a room and I said, guys, how many of you are going to make $1 million cash money this year? I might see, I might hear some sounds like 0% chance, 1% chance. Probably the top would be like 5% chance. There might be a baller in there like 100% chance. But the majority of people are going to be like, there's no chance I'm going to make $1 million. If I changed the question and said, if your family or the closest person to you in the world was going to die at the end of the year if you didn't make $1 million, how many of you would make $1 million? The percentage would drastically increase. Did the time horizon change? No. Did the goal change? No. The why changed. The why changed. Guys, what is your why? Like, what are you doing it for? That is going to get you up. That is going to get you running. That is going to get you moving. That is going to get you to get out of the fear of rejection, the fear of failure, and just do the hard thing and do it consistently. Brett's big why started from what we saw, the origin story moment, the singularity event, getting into pain, realizing, hey, this is not the life that I want to live for my family, for my spouse, for my kid, for myself. What is going to be your moment? And guys, know this, Brett's moment happened from a simple picture. It wasn't this magical, momentous occasion. It was just a picture, and he realized enough was enough. So, Brett Campbell, man, I applaud you. I'm happy to share you with everybody out here and celebrate your just consistency and your persistence and your refusing to quit, man. What are some final thoughts for the people of the interwebs today?
I would say that all it takes is one action to get the snowball rolling down the hill, right? Whatever it is that you want to focus on, whether it be your health, your business, your relationships at home, just decide to do something different today in a positive way and continually add on to it day after day, something small. It doesn't have to be a big change. Set a goal around what you want it to look like a year from now, 5 years from now, and start making those 1 degree adjustments so that you can actually achieve what it is that you want to achieve. And I think that you're going to find not only is it going to impact that particular area of your life, whatever that goal is around, it's going to have a ripple effect into every other aspect of your life. I've been focused on my health goals, and it's had a massive impact on my relationships with my friends, how I show up energy wise, how I show up in my business, how I show up for my family. And it's funny because there are days where I like to work out in the morning. And if I don't have the time or schedule that allows for that, it'll get to midday or late afternoon. And my wife will look at me and just say, can you go on your run today? Because you're so much more energetic and happy after your run. So it's funny how it impacts every other aspect of our lives.
Yeah.
So just choose one thing that you want to focus on and watch the ripple effect of how you show up.
That's what's up. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the man himself, the guy who is half the person that he used to be last year. Ladies and gentlemen, Brett Campbell. Guys, Coach Kyle signing off today. Happy Wednesday. Go out there and get some. Choose that one thing. Have that hero moment and start your hero's journey, guys. See y'all tomorrow.
See y'all.